What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Meadow Green Homesteading. So today is going to be a very fun day for us. We are headed out to the beautiful small town of Old Fort, Tennessee, where we are going to be visiting the 5 Berkshire piglets that we just recently purchased for our farm. We're going to spend some time with the owner and the piglets just to experience what it's going to be like having the piglets on our farm. It's about 7 more weeks before we can actually bring these piglets home, but we are really excited and we just couldn't wait. So stick around, you're not going to want to miss this. Alright, so here's the deal. I'm going to set you up with a little bit of footage of us visiting the pigs and some of the other farm animals that we're going to see. Now, I'm doing it this way because it can be pretty intrusive to somebody you've never met to just jump out of your vehicle and start shooting YouTube content. Now, in this case, I value the friendship and the relationship with this breeder more than I do trying to get good YouTube content at this time. Sometimes it's just nice to live in the moment. That's just the way it is. Let's hit the road and go check out the piglets. Alright guys, so we're headed back home. It's about a 2-hour the piglets. They're absolutely adorable. We cannot wait to get them back home. But like I said, it's about a 2-hour drive. We have a couple stops to make. We're gonna get some food. We have some supplies we need to pick up for the barn and for our pigs, and we'll see you back at the house. All right, so check this out. We just got back home from the road, and what you see behind me is a trailer full of 3 275-gallon IBC totes. These have been cleaned by the seller, and they are stamped water and food safe, which is very important when you're buying IBC totes from a facility or somebody off of Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. You really want to make sure if you're going to be storing food or rainwater for your animals or yourself that you're going and getting food safe IBC totes. There is a marking on the totes that depicts whether or not they are food safe. What we also have behind me are 5 blue plastic 55-gallon drums with the removable top and the locking ring. Now I'm going to offload these at the house, and we'll be washing those up in a couple weeks when it gets a little bit warmer up. But for right now, let's get these IBC totes up to the barn, where we are going to be installing rainwater collection off the barn for our chickens and our pigs. I want to mention a few things before I move on from the IBC totes, and the first thing is, if you need to tie into the top of the IBC tote, it's important that you try and find or purchase a cap like this one. Our IBC totes came with these caps. They have a 2-inch MPT female thread right in them. If you have totes that do not have this thread in it, you can go ahead and log on to Amazon, do a quick search for them, and find them there. I believe they're around $17. The other thing I want to mention are the valves on the IBC totes come with different threads. This IBC tote has a 2-inch male MPT thread, and you can find yourself a female 2-inch MPT thread to a 2-inch PVC coupling at any of your local box stores. The IBC totes we bought yesterday, if you happen to get one that looks like this is known as a 2-inch male buttress thread. So if you log on to Amazon, you can find a 2-inch female buttress to just about any other kind of thread that you wish to tie into, whether it's PVC or a lawn hose. The other thing I want to mention is, if you're going to be leaving IBC totes like this out in direct sunlight with water in them, you need a UV cover on them. Our IBC totes that are in the shed over by the garden, those are actually wrapped in black plastic because they're also covered by the shed. But for these particular IBC totes, we actually purchased IBC covers for them that are UV resistant. So they slip over the whole entire cage and everything and keep it UV protected. That way you don't get any contamination from UV light and algae growing in your water. All right, so this is where we're going to be putting the 3 rain barrels we just got. I've been working on the barn a little bit, but there's going to be a frame out of 6x6s over here. And we're going to get water from this corner of the barn. So we have some trimming to do. We got to add a fascia to the barn. So this barn, like I said before, is 80 feet long. We're going to have 2 different gutter systems running off of this barn. One going over to the chicken coop, and then one going over here. And then eventually what we're going to do is this kind of a wallow down here. We're hoping that we can get the pigs in there, stomp it down. Pigs are really good at stomping clay down and making it hard packed. That way this wallow will retain water again. There's a berm right here, and then it kind of drops over again. So we're actually hoping to run an electric fence out and around, and then around over here. You can kind of see the highland over here. This runs all the way around on the other side of this high point. Penned them in here, and then I came through, let's see, a couple weeks ago now, and I cut off all the rotten wood that was on this barn and went ahead and cleaned all this out. So we raked all this old hay and horse and cow manure out of here, fixed up some of the framing. This area right here has got a door that goes out to the barn, so this is going to be a perfect little area. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is take some of these boards off to get more airflow through here, put up a little bit of fencing or something, and that way we can keep our sow or sows in here. Perhaps we could split this into 2, and that way we could have kind of a little birthing area. Something else to think about is perhaps putting concrete down in here to try and keep the mess down, because eventually it's going to get really messy in there, being pigs and being on dirt. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this video. Now, we really enjoyed getting to see the piglets today. I hope you enjoy getting to see them as much as we did. They are so adorable. But I have a couple things I want to mention about the pigs. First is that we have 7 weeks before we can bring them home, which is a good thing because we have a lot of infrastructure to set up. So we have feeding troughs, we have the hut to build, we have fencing to put up. So we have plenty of time to do that. Now the second thing is the IBC tote rainwater collection we're doing on this barn. Now if you want to see the entire setup for our IBC tote rainwater collection system on this barn, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss the video we're going to be putting out in a couple weeks. It's going to go through the entire detail of the whole process and the parts used. But we'd like to thank you once again for tuning into our channel and continuing to support our content. If you could hit that like button, it helps us out a lot. But until next time, we hope you have a great day.